Well, hello everyone. Our task today is to come up with this 2D metal gasket. As you can see, that is the way it appears, and we need to draw it. So, what we're going to do basically is come up with the different positions of the different circles over there, then the different lines as well. Then basically the filleting, so that we get the fillet ready and we're done. So basically that is it. So the first one, you're going to draw the center circles and the circles themselves, then the line work and the fillet. So coming to my AutoCAD, which is already open, drawing in the drafting and annotation workspace. I'll give a zoom out, then I'll begin off with I want to begin off with these two circles of diameter of let me just zoom in, diameter of 40, and the next one the diameter has not been as such given, but you can this one is the one that has not been given, but you can pick we'll pick it out from the drawing. So I'll just start with 40 first. So circle, center, diameter. So from this point, diameter 40, then enter. Then I'll double click my mouse wheel button to do the zoom extents. Then I'll zoom out a little bit. Then from here, I want to draw a center line. Make sure my paper is round, so we draw a center line in that direction. Then I'll lengthen it as such. Then from here as well, I'll draw a circle, center, diameter, and from the diagram, I just give assumption that it is somewhere there. So I'll pick diameter of 20, then enter. After achieving that, we're going to I'll just rotate this. First of all, I'll move it from its center to the center of the circle. Then afterwards, I'm going to rotate a copy. So I'm going to rotate it from that point as the base point. Then make sure that I do copy so that I have the vertical center line as such. Coming back to our drawing, we have these and these, so we can produce this. So what we do, we offset the vertical at 82 and the horizontal at 65. So 82 and 65. So we come to offset 82, then offset again 65. After doing that, we'll obtain the other center line. So the other center line has two circles. So the first one we can see has radius 22 and diameter 20. So we'll come circle center radius 22 and center diameter 20, such. Then coming back to our drawing, we'll from this center line we'll do an offset of 100. We'll start with this. So I'll do an offset of 90 to draw this hole of diameter 20. So offset of 90. So we come offset of 90 for this. Then from that point, you can simply copy the circle from its center to that point. Then coming back to our drawing, we have this center line. I'm going to offset it to the left, a distance of 62. So offset a distance of 62. such. So here it is. Distance is 62. So let me temporarily delete this one so that we don't be confused. So thereafter, from this center line, I'm going to do a radius of 32 and diameter of 36. So in fact, we are told here that these are two holes of diameter 36. So it means this one is 36 and this other one was supposed to be 36 as well. So I'll make the first correction first. So we'll make the radius 18 as such, so that it's as you can see, so that its diameter is 36. So diameter of 6, 2 holes for this one and this one, which has not been given. The other one diameter is 40. So radius 32 and diameter 36. So center radius 32 and center diameter 36. Enter. So after obtaining that, I'll zoom out a bit so that this is how it appears. Then afterwards, I'm going to draw this point, just a line. So line from this point going downwards and such. Thereafter, as you can see, we have another radius of 60 coming that way to join the two. So 60 joins this point to this other point, having a radius of 18. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to have a circle here from that center to that point, which is, as you can see, it is 22. So we're going to find the center of this arc by taking 62, which is the radius, minus 62, which is the radius, minus 32, which is the radius of this outer circle. So we get 30. So we're going to draw a circle of center radius 30. Enter. So it's this inner one. Then at this point as well, we're going to take 62 minus 22, which is the radius of this. So this one, we did a mistake. It was supposed to run from there to this particular point. So you can see the radius is 22. Yeah. To this point, so the radius is 22. So 62 minus 22, we get 40. So circles center radius of 40. Enter. So where they meet, which is this point, we're going to draw a circle center radius of 62. Center radius of 62. So I'll type 62. Enter. So as you can see, they marry quite well as it is in the diagram. So all we need to do is to do some filleting so that we obtain a perfect hub. So we're going to have it as such. So we come to fillet, and first of all, before I do the fillets, we want to delete the circles that were a guide to us to get the radius. I'll delete this one, and also delete this one. Then I'll come to fillet and fillet off. So it comes that way. Not with these positions, I'll fillet off. I'll trim off these parts that are not needed. This part as well. So this one comes the other way. Then this one I'll delete it from there. Then the remaining upper part I'll just delete. So as you can see, we have achieved our objective. So next bit is to delete this helping circle. I'll delete it as first. Undo, but fillet these points first before doing the deleting of that. So at the bottom, that is how it appears. So let's see what you can do next. So what you can do next is zoom out as such. And zoom out our diagram as well. So we need to offset this line to the left at distance of 44. So this one. So let me offset this at distance of 44 to the left as such. So that is the way it appears. Then we can finish off this part of radius 10. So I'll come to fillet, pick radius, enter radius 10, enter, pick the first circle and the next line. Then I'll do some trimming on the go as we go. I'll do some trimming as we go. So after obtaining that, we need this part and these lines. So what we can do, we can start off with this. The angle again has not been shown, so we make just a slight assumption that. So we'll pick line, then I will pick shift right click tangent, so the tangent to the outer circle as such. Then it comes in such a way that it is somehow close to the quadrant of the circle. So slightly close to the quadrant of the circle. So you just get it at that point. Then after having that, we need to also do a fillet of radius of 10. So I'll come again, fillet radius of 10, pick on the first circle and the line, so that we have that formation. So let me get off these center lines. So next I'm going to offset it at distance of 34. So I'll come to offset, enter distance of 34, enter, then click on this and offset it outward. Then at this point we need to fillet it at a radius of 20. So I need to come to fillet again radius of 20. Then click on this. So we're moving on well. So next we need two fillets at this point. Again, this center has not been indicated, but we can pick the center of this circle. So this is the way you can do. You can take the center of this circle that direction. Then from this point, okay, slightly off. So slightly, because this one is not, the fillet sets some distance below. So when you have this some distance below, so now we have this particular circle. So what you can do is this. We will come and take some distance and draw a circle at this point of radius 14, so slightly beneath this. So this is how we're going to draw. We're going to draw a circle of radius 14, enter. Then I'm going to position this circle slightly below this circle. So we're going to move it from shift right click the quadrant to, let's turn our output off to some distance slightly below this, to some distance slightly below that. So I'll say shift right click nearest, so to some distance, let's say such to that point. So there you have it. Then afterwards we're going now to fillet the two with the radius of 22. So we come to fillet radius of 22, this and this. Then we're going to do some trimming. We're going to do some trimming on that, and then yeah. So there you have it. And then some trimming at this point. Then you can do away with this center line. So that is the way it appears. But if you look at this point, it is not the way it appears as such, because we used two holes of diameter 36. So this one was not well represented, so it needed to be slightly bigger, because if you check radius of 40 should be near radius of 36. Anyway, that is what we wanted, or we were supposed to do. So if we have that, we have completed the task. What remains basically is just doing some annotation, which we'll do by first of all amending the standard dimension style by modifying it so that you have readable values like precision to 0, text height to, let's say, 5 units. You can even change the text color, symbols and arrows. You can also change that to the dimensions that you want. The line colors can also be changed, and so on and so forth. Then you say okay, then it close. Then you can do several dimensions, like linear dimension, let's say from that point to that point. You can do dimensions from two center lines, let's say the center lines from these positions. You can do aligned dimension, let's say from this line to this line. Aligned dimension from this point to shift right click perpendicular, such. We can have others like diameter of that outer circle. You can have also radius of, let's say, this particular fillet. Yes. So that is it for the exercise. Hope you followed it and understood. Where there is a problem or an issue, you can comment in the comment box so that I can clarify where you got lost, or you can just rewind the clip so that you can check the full procedure. Again, thank you for watching the tutorial. Watch others for you to perfect your AutoCAD skills, and make sure to subscribe. videos like this.